For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on global television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point. This is business.
Are you
All right, welcome. It's time for us to talk sport on Global Television. Deeply sorry for starting 6 minutes behind schedule due to some technical issues beyond our control, but we're back and the game is about to kick off. We've got 90 minutes of action as it was a very interesting weekend. We had two finals played at the weekend. One was the Copa America and the other one was definitely the European Championship taking place in Germany, where it was Spain versus the Three Lions of England. It was a very, very, very traumatic experience, having the Three Lions go down 1-0, then came back 1-1, and what happened to them? Game was something left to be best. Imagine English hearts broken once again. Never-ending story. On today's edition, promises to be exciting. We will be giving you other big stories making the rounds in the world of tennis, Formula One, and indeed boxing. All right, my name is Anthony Momondo, King of Sport. I'm not alone. I've got Odi Samuel, who made some predictions last week, and some did come to pass. Odi, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Not some, both of them come to pass, and you owe me money.
All right, money's...
you owe me money. We shake on it. I hope you didn't forget. So you owe me money, pay up.
When it comes to money, we didn't talk about money.
We did.
Apparently, he has breached the contract. We didn't talk about money. We talked about outing. 2 nights out. And since the contract has been breached, it's over.
2 nights out and...
And what?
Yeah, no, you didn't keep to your word. So
let's get into the action. Let's begin from Copa America, where Lautaro Martinez has scored an extra time winner as Argentina beat Colombia 1-0 to win a record 16th Copa America title at the Hard Rock Stadium on Sunday. A game of few chances, which had been marred by security and crowd issues, forcing an 82-minute delay, was decided by a quality finish from substitute Martinez, who finished the tournament top scorer with 5 goals. The win was the 3rd straight major tournament title for Argentina, following their 2021 Copa victory, their triumph in the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. There were tears before the celebrations, though, with Argentina captain Lionel Messi going off injured in the 66th minute, watching the rest of the game distraught on the bench, while there was an emotional farewell for Angel Di Maria in his final game for the national team. Meanwhile, let's let you know that Colombia, whose only title came in the 2001 Copa America, and who were unbeaten in 28 games, it was a disappointing night when little seemed to work for the Néstor Lorenzo team. There was chaos around the entry to the stadium for fans, with organizers blaming supporters for trying to enter without tickets, while fans blamed the lack of an efficient entry system to the venue. The scenes were alarming, with some fans needing medical attention for heat exhaustion, but after the decision to suddenly throw open the gates with no checks on those entering, the situation was largely resolved and the game went ahead. All right, Argentina beating Colombia 1-0 after 28 games unbeaten run. That surely did break the heart of the Colombians.
Yeah, I told you it was going to break the heart of the Colombians, and I predicted 1-0.
Okay.
And then it came true. You owe me money still. I don't know why you're smiling. So congrats to Argentina. They've been on fire since 2021, 2022, and this 2024. And for Di Maria, who is actually retiring from national football, it was amazing. He had a good run. He's finishing strong. You know, he started off early and with a good run during their youth encounter, and again getting to this stage and also finishing this strong. It's super amazing for him. And for Messi, who got injured and was a bit jittery, thinking his team was going to lose out, but luckily Martinez came through for them in the dire minutes of the game. So it's just amazing. And for Colombians, they put up a very good fight, given the fact that they haven't been to the finals in a very long time, and they're a very strong and a very young side that are upcoming. So kudos to them for a good fight, because to be able to face a team like Argentina in the Copa America, it's no joke for you to even get to that stage after looking at the amount of teams that they beat, Uruguay and some other big countries in the South America. So it was great that they did put up a very good fight, but at the end of the day, my predictions came true, and congrats on the Argentina.
All right, let's look at the crowd issue they had, the fact that there was issues of fans getting into the stadium. Then at a point, the stadium gate were thrown open without proper checks and balances. What does this do to the tournament, Copa America? We've seen a lot of violence. We saw Uruguay players fight Colombian fans.
This is something that doesn't tell well generally for the Copa America itself, because proper preparation needs to be in place for the well-being of the fans as well as the players and their families. So the fact that the stadium got opened, probably they opened it because the fans outside are beginning to get violent, and then in order not to let that escalate and then lead to something more disastrous, they just maybe the management just that okay, it's the finals. We've probably made a good amount of money from the whole competition. So let's just let people come in and just enjoy, given the fact that it even happened late in the competition, late in the, I think, second half. But I think that was done to calm the situation so there won't be chaos.
All right, let's look at Messi. This is the fourth triumph for the Argentine hero. Do you think he's going to go to the World Cup, and should the World Cup be his last outing for the national team, or he should just call it quits on the high?
You know, he's still very hungry. Messi is still very hungry, and I think he wants to represent Argentina, I think, one more time at the World Cup. I think this might be his last World Cup, looking at his age, unless he would want to say he wants to play with his son like Ronaldo is saying right now. But I don't think that is going to happen because his son is really young. He might be playing with a walking stick while his son is just getting to the pitch. So at this point, I think this 2026 World Cup might be the last run. If they get to qualify, might be the last run for Lionel Messi. I would say he literally, FIFA and UEFA has helped him so far, and then he has been able to win major trophies, even trophies that legends like, you know, Pele couldn't win. He was able to win them. So I would say it's good. Maybe at any point that it is that he gets maybe kicked off, or luckily if they get to win the World Cup 2026, I would say he has had a good run starting from his youthful age, and you know it's going to be still good for him. It's still a win-win because he has played in almost all competitions, and then he has won lots of trophies, won Ballon d'Or. So I think if he even decides to resign from football now, his name is always going to be mentioned, and there's also going to be pinned down in the book of legends and the greats of football. Are
we likely to see Argentina win the World Cup in 2026 with this outing? And what do you think is making Argentina this successful?
I think the coach is playing a very good role, and then knowing how to use his players, and then the Argentine squad now have a very young squad. They have very young guys, and then mixed with experience as well, with those that have been in situations of you know, playing finals and, you know, in dire situations of where you have to struggle to like qualify to the next stage. So I think the young stars, the young herds that they have, and then the experienced herds that they have as well, is playing a major role for them to be able to advance their performance in terms of winning competition. So looking at if they would win the 2026 World Cup, I'm not certain that would happen, because other countries as well are actually going to be coming up with that firepower, and then they will want to definitely put up a very good fight, because now it's going to be happening in Mexico, Canada, and US. So it's going to be a different ball game, and then the intensity and competition is also going to be high. So I don't think they are going to have a back-to-back win.
All right, let's move on from one finals to another, from the Copa America, where it was Argentina winning their 16th Copa America title. Let's take you to Europe, where it was tears everywhere. That was British. One man, Carragher, says England's big players didn't turn up for the party. Jenny Carragher laid the blame for England's unsuccessful Euro 2024 campaign at the feet of the squad, while defending Gareth Southgate after the Three Lions final defeat by Spain. England suffered a heart-breaking loss to Luis de Fonte side in Berlin on Sunday night with Mikel Oyarzabal, the match winner, with a goal from close range in the 86th minute. The Three Lions had failed to impress for the majority of the tournament, but looked to be ramping into form at the perfect time following their dramatic semi-final win over the Netherlands. But Spain, who were a cut above the opposition throughout, proved too stern a test for the side. But Carragher largely resisted blaming the England boss for the team's shortcomings. Instead, he aimed his criticism at the players, many of whom he did not produce the kind of form shown in their club sides last season. All right, let's look at what Carragher is saying. Can we say Carragher is right to an extent, or can we say the player, he said they didn't produce the form they had in their club sides in the national team, or can we say probably other foreign players made them look so good in their at the club sides, not necessarily that they are that good? And what do you think happened to the Three Lions after coming back last night?
One, everybody has his own share for me. Everybody has his own share of blame. Southgate has his own share. The players have their own share of portion of blame. Let me start from Southgate. You know, from the group stages, right? he was just playing players, like we've been singing this, in a unnatural position that they are not used to. So all of these things contributed to them struggling so hard to be able to even qualify to get to the finals. Now, looking at the players now, automatically, these guys don't always play together. They are not on the same teams and all of that. So the chemistry is not superb, right? And again, the fact that the singular fact that they are not still playing in their natural position played another disadvantage, a negative
But
role.
which of the players do you necessarily feel is not
Kane
playing?
didn't show up.
No, as in which of the players do you think didn't really play in its own natural position? Because Kane, for me, did. Saka always comes from the wing, which he did. Walker has always been on the right wing.
We have Alexander-Arnold who didn't play. He played in the midfield. We have
after the first 2 games, he was drafted back.
He was drafted back and then not even being so efficient, not being used as we usually see him being used in Liverpool, right? Then Carragher, he himself is a natural 8th player, but he was pushed to play 10.
Who?
Carragher himself was played 10. Cole Palmer, who is supposed to be even coming in or starting, probably did even start most of the matches. He comes in late in the second half of the game. And then he is one of the qualities that he needs for England to be able to, move forward. Foden himself, who is a left footer, starts playing from the right side, which is also a problem. So all of these things contributed to the fact that they struggled to get to the finals. So getting to the finals now, yes, Harry Kane did not perform so much apart from, I think, penalty that he scored. He didn't get good clinical or good firepower that we usually see from him in Bayern Munich. And then a whole lot of players. Foden was not just, Foden of Manchester City that we know. So all of these players had their own fair share of blame to take. Kyle Walker wasn't super effective as we usually see him to be. So all of this has now played, a massive role that led to them not even performing. And like I said, Spain were obviously going to beat them because I was more certain the moment that I saw the first goal coming in and then Cole Palmer equalizing, and then I was like, okay, this is definitely going to end in a 2-1 victory for Spain, and then they did play it out that way.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed and see what's going to pan out. If Gareth Southgate is going to remain the coach of the Three Lions is a big talking point, and the former Liverpool player, the person of Carragher, saying he doesn't want to blame the coach. Do you think Carragher is being sentimental, saying he's not going to blame the coach, rather he's going to blame the players for not turning up? And would you say probably players already burnt out for the season? That's why they couldn't show up. And did Southgate make mistakes in terms of dropping certain players like Grealish, who might have changed the course of the game?
It depends on how much, the players want it, right? It depends on how far you're willing to go to, get the trophy. They did turn up. I watched the game. They didn't really play to my own satisfaction, They didn't really play to my own satisfaction. And the reason now, would I say, is because they were burnt out. Other players too were burnt out. Spain too, they didn't have time to rest, right? So everybody literally was burnt out from Premier League, La Liga, Europa, whatever league it is you're coming from, they were all burnt out. So now the thing is, they were just supposed to push in more. Football is a very, very draining game. It's an exciting game to watch, but it takes so much from the human body. So now, at this point now, we were expecting, I personally was expecting, yes, we've not won this in a very, very long time. And again, all of our fans, even the king himself, is rooting for us to win it. So I was expecting a little more of enthusiasm, a little more of firepower for them to be able to come out and show. Even if we know that the Spanish side are not just an underdog, they are not going to just sit and watch you come take the trophy. Then I feel the England, the Three Lions didn't put up a very, very good fight.
Do you think he's going to remain, because the FA had said regardless of what plays out yesterday, he was going to remain till the 2026 World Cup?
I think he's going to stay. They've rooted for him already. They've given him that assurance until probably something else happens. They might end up changing their mind, just like people change. So the FA might just pinpoint a few reasons and then capitalize on it and then look for someone else. But he is being favoured by the England FA. Probably we might see him going to the World Cup 2026, or they might have a change of mind.
All right, let's keep our fingers crossed and see if Gareth Southgate will remain the coach of the Three Lions of England. But our heart goes out to all English fans, especially the EPL fans for last night's really painful loss there. Let's move on to other players still getting reactions as regards the match that played out yesterday. Rafael van der Vaart, Dutch ex-player, took aim at Declan Rice following England's 2-1 defeat by Spain in Sunday's Euro 2024 final. Rice played every minute of England's 7-game campaign in Germany, including the full 90 minutes on Sunday. But former Netherlands and Tottenham star Van der Vaart was not impressed by Arsenal's midfielder's performance. Rice, who cost Arsenal £105 million when he signed from London rivals West Ham in July last year, attempted 40 passes against Spain, more than any of his teammates, but Van der Vaart blasted the 25-year-old for not playing enough of those passes forward after his appearance on Sunday. Rice has now represented England 58 times at senior international level. 19 of those appearances have come at a major tournament. Van der Vaart, who scored 28 goals in 77 games for Spurs between 2010 and 2012, was capped 109 times for the Netherlands during his playing career. He scored 25 goals for his country, including one at Euro 2012. So that's Rice there feeling depressed. Are we surprised Rice didn't live up to expectation, or do you think the fault wasn't his, but they're attacking the entire England team?
You see, looking at the game from yesterday, I don't know if you watched it. You know, there were some crucial runs that were needed to be made that wasn't made, and then that made Declan Rice hold the ball more. You know, there are some kind of passes. You know, when Harry Kane plays for Bayern and when he was in Tottenham, when he was still very on fire with Tottenham, he tends to like communicate non-verbally with his midfielders and then make runs. All those runs like cutting and then coming out, then go through the back of the defender, and then the midfielder puts the ball for you in between the defender, and then voila, you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper. We didn't see Kane make those runs yesterday. I don't totally blame Declan Rice, because he do throw passes like that in Arsenal. But why didn't he throw it? Because there was nobody making those moves for him to give the pass. So if he throws that pass, it's just going to reduce he's just going to get the ball given away to the opponent, which would be dire for them. But whenever he wants to make the pass, it's always late, and then he will get crowded, and then probably the ball will get snatched away from him. But another thing was that he was supposed to be vocal probably after the first half, because all of that started during the first half. He was supposed to be vocal in the dressing room, like, okay, we need to make these runs and then make them calculatively, so you wouldn't even get yourself in offside positions. So he didn't get those runs, and then there is nothing he can do but to like delay the ball, and then when he gets to make the pass, it's always late.
Should Gareth Southgate, would he have made changes in terms of not using him as the holding for the Three Lions? Was that where the mistake was? The fact that he depended too much on Declan Rice? You know,
Declan Rice, looking at his performance with Arsenal, so far so good. I think that's the main reason why he was like capped the best for the Three Lions. I think, should he have made changes? Yes, I felt he would have like switched the game up a little bit and say like, okay, all these other qualities that you have, bring them in and then see what is going to happen, because obviously this guy is trained. But for the whole 7 match, like you rightly said, he was the one that was capping and then playing even full lengthy 90 minutes, and even most times to the extra times. So I think a little bit of change, a switch would have maybe made things a little more better, because they changed the formation, which helped them secure the win against Slovakia. I don't know why a change in players now did not happen.
All right, let's keep on giving you the big stories. They're still getting reactions for England's loss, as Gary Neville has described England's Euro 2024 final defeat as never-ending story, where we can't get over the line. The Three Lions were beaten 2-1 by Spain in Berlin on Sunday night, despite a late comeback goal from Cole Palmer. And moving on, let's take you to Jude Bellingham. Bellingham is in the news this morning, as Jude Bellingham could not hide his anger after England's dramatic late defeat by Spain in Euro 2024 final. The Three Lions suffered another agonizing final defeat in European Championship after Mikel Oyarzabal 86th minute goal to seal a 2-1 victory for Spain. At the final whistle, all of England players looked distraught, but the Real Madrid midfielder in particular, he stormed off the pitch and kicked a drinks cooler in frustration and could be seen sat on England's bench looking towards the pitch, appearing to be in a very thoughtful mood, very pensive at that, as Bellingham eventually returned to the pitch where he was consoled by England captain Harry Kane and manager Gareth Southgate. Bellingham had calmed down by the time the medal presentation, but was clearly upset as he had walked past the Euro 2024 trophy. Like with many players losing sight in the finals, he was quick to take his medal off after the match. Bellingham described the defeat as cruel and heartbreaking. All right, let's look at some football fans have said Harry Kane is the cause of England. That's him taking off the medal there, Bellingham. He left Tottenham, went to Bayern. Bayern couldn't win any trophy, and now England couldn't win any trophy. Should Harry Kane be axed from the team? Is he the bad luck?
Someone said where I was watching, the Harry Kane factor is affecting the Three Lions. So I now asked, why did you say that? He now stately said the same thing you said. He was like, okay, looking at Tottenham, he did not help Tottenham so much. He was just scoring goals. But when it's time that they really need Harry Kane to be Harry Kane, he's always nowhere to be found. He said the same thing is happening at Bayern. And then now, again, the same thing is happening with the Three Lions. So I would say there's so much expectation that is on Harry Kane because of the name. You know, the name, from the results that we've seen from the previous years from Harry Kane. Harry Kane, it's a deadly striker.
Can we say he played that tournament with hidden injury that nobody revealed to the world?
Or would I, or maybe the incident, the accident that happened to his children, to his wife and kids, is still in his head, because past few months before, weeks just before, you know, the Euro 2024 started, his family was involved in a ghastly accident. I don't know if that's one of the reasons why he wasn't totally focused. If he needed to take a few time off, like Foden did, when he was having a few personal issues, he took a few days off and then came back again when everything was sorted. So I wouldn't say that's the thing. Or are we seeing a decline? I might say yes, age is catching up with him, just like it's doing with Ronaldo. You know, probably that's the thing that is happening to Harry Kane at this point. But he should find a way and get back to that firepower that he usually, you know, that we know Harry Kane for.
All right, enough of Harry Kane. Let's go to Spain, where one man, Rodri, also did go out of the game due to injury, and it was a very scary scene where Spain appeared to be dealt a big blow at halftime interval at the Euro 2024 finals, as distraught Rodri was substituted due to injury. Spain's midfield maestro was seen with his head in his face as he walked off the pitch to the break before taking his place on the bench for the second half. It looked to be a big blow for the Spanish, given they would have to play the next half of football without their talismanic midfielder. With Real Sociedad, Martin Zubimendi brought on his place. However, it took only 70 seconds for Spain to break the game's deadlock in a devastating fashion, with Nico Williams lashing a low shot into the net to stun the sleepy England. Gareth Southgate's side equalized through Cole Palmer. Let's look at Rodri. How instrumental is that the difference we see between Spanish players and English players? In Man City, Rodri is excellent. In the national team, it's also excellent. But for the British players, in their club side, they're excellent. In their national team, they're ordinary.
You said ordinary, like there's, I won't say that drink, but but looking at Rodri now, Rodri is a very, you're thinking about the drink, don't think too much. You won't even figure it out. Looking at the drink now,
Okay.
looking at Rodri now, beg your pardon, looking at Rodri now.
Yeah, we're looking at the drink.
Looking at Rodri now, Rodri is a very great guy. Like, I like him, I like his personality, I like his passion for the game of football generally, because the way he runs and then goes round on the field of play is super amazing. He runs around like N'Golo Kante. He's always everywhere, so he shows passion, and then he always wants to put in his best whenever it comes to, you know, playing football. So I'm just super glad that he won the Europa Man of the match, just like, you know, Trust Ekong did for the AFCONs this year. So I'm super excited for him for winning that.
All right, we're still talking sport, and it's about time we go for a quick break. When we return from the break, we can have some other big stories making the rounds. As there's someone, I just realized there was someone in the studio that's been making the ginger very high. So we'll go for a quick break. So when we return, we will not look at the drink, we'll look at football.
And ordinary stuff.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story. Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria. Come join Anthony Momodu on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are definitely.
Can we not say that again?
Because
that this country gets it right.
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
Global Morning is your ultimate destination for engaging political and economic matters. I am Uyi Agmofwebe.
And don't forget to include social discussions. Tune in every weekdays from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I am Queen Agaba.
For insightful breakfast ideas, business summaries, sports highlights, international and local news perspective, I am Anthony Momodu.
Don't miss the in-depth analysis of current and political issues by the Global Morning team and experts. I am Jumai Manson.
Catch Global Morning here on Global Television. Getting on the action. I am Edikan Michael.
We are
the Global Morning team.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on Global Televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you.